and I stepped across because of all the snow, and they don't clean the streets great in Scranton, and all the water's just, it's pouring. It's just running down, and it's literally ankle deep next to the curbs because it's got nowhere to go. And I stepped in, and I was like, yep, these aren't completely waterproof above like the top of the foot. So just filled in one of them. I was like, oh, good. At least I get to pet Max with wet socks.
Mm-hmm. And I had to change my begin point there for the show. You know, I don't want to incriminate anyone.
Right.
So 2 weeks ago, we had a bunch of, the family gives out scratchers for Christmas, right? 2 weeks ago, we went to go get comics, and they were closed early. As you say, the smut shop, right?
Right.
So this past week, we went up, and they were open. I went in, I cash them in, it's like $7, whatever, and a free ticket. Kid gets the free ticket, I get the $7. But I'm not sure if it's quaint or I don't know what to say. So you've been in that place, so you know where it is, and this is very specific. So like right behind the counter is an ATM.
Right.
And then directly to the left of the counter, or the left of the ATM, is a little like bookshelf, and I mean like little. It has like 2 magazines and 1 DVD.
Right, that's the leftovers, I think.
Okay, and it was, and again, I don't know if it was quaint or what you would say to see like actual pornography in the wild.
Right, or as my dad calls them, Todd, go down to the store and get me some fuck books. That's what he used to say when there was a smut shop on Main Street that sold stuff. So, but yeah, it's interesting. And I've seen her. I've said this before. There's a tweet out there somewhere. I'm sorry, an X, if you could search it. I said she lets people put it on layaway, the smut that she has there on that little shelf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kai was like, oh, I don't have enough. She's like, oh, you can pay for it half now. And, when you come back with the rest, I'll hold it for you. So nice, literally a layaway,
So I didn't know you needed to have a lending library for like 2 magazines and 1 DVD,
Right. But when the guy who owned it before her, they had a lot. They didn't just have a small shelf. There was, but that was years ago when it was, more popular.
So that it makes me wonder so there's new ownership, right? Is she just keeping the old stock that's left over, or she took over and she's like, get this smut out of here? And then somebody came in and said, hey, where'd all the smut go?
Right. I think she's willing to sell it because, it was left over. If it was free merchandise and it goes, that's found money. But I don't think she's like stocking it and got it away and restocked it, because she did a massive overhaul of what that place sells. Yeah. Because that Frank's always sold like water and soda and cigarettes, but she has various stuff. Like now there's like food, just corners, Pagoda kind of stuff. What's the word I'm looking for? Not Pagoda. That's a Pagoda.
Am I supposed to correct you or no?
Yeah, you can. What's it called when you have
Bodega?
A bodega. I'm saying a bodega. But no, she has like that, and she even has some like glass pipes, if you will, for selling.
Yeah.
But she did like an overhaul on the register, so it's all like barcoded and everything. So I don't see her selling smut after restocking smut, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, just like I said, you don't, not that there's many mom and pop magazine type stores like that. Everything's kind of, I think I'm trying to think. Where the Wendy's is off Davis Street? And again, we don't talk about weather. We talk about very specific local geography on here.
Right. You mean over by the dangerous Waffle House?
Yes.
Right.
So there's the gas station that's down the road there at the light.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I think they still, not the convenient that's up the hill by 81. They used to.
I know the one that's right on the corner of the one-way road. I know.
I think they still sell smut magazines there.
I think they're in a feud with like selling that property. I think eminent domain was trying to take that.
Oh, really?
And they were like standing their ground. There was something weird with that corner convenience/gas station. Convenience store, not a convenience.
So that's like that whole block going back up toward the Wendy's is very strange because on the corner, I guess, you have the combination dentist and tobacco store.
Right. You got to clean those teeth after you smoke.
And then there was like a bunch of little houses. And then all those houses got sold. And like, I might say a bunch. There was like 3 or 4. And one of them got torn down. The other one's in the process of. The other 2 are still there. And then it's that gas station.
Yep. I think I think one of Donald Duck's nephews want that. It ain't Huey and it ain't Dewey, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
Around here, you know who the third one is. I think that has to do with a certain businessman wants it, you know?
Right. I just assume that like every place down my neck of the woods, they're trying to turn it into a Sheetz.
Maybe it's a Wawa. That's the new thing. Wawa's coming gunning for Sheetz around here.
Yeah.
But
you get 1 month a year, and that's under protest.
Right. I know you're a gobbler, man.
That's right. So I'm glad you're still here. I'm glad the snow did not kill us all. And the snow's already gone, and that's the most weather talk that we'll have.
Right.
We're not supposed to talk about the weather.
No.
But this was the one where, like, I will admit I was wrong. I was doubtful the whole time. Because the predictions were anywhere from 1 to 11 inches. Right. And I'm like, that's quite the swing that we have, right?
Right.
And it ended up being like somewhere right in the middle. And I'm like, okay, you got me. You win this time, weather people.
Right. I mean, it wasn't fun, but I got it done. So it wasn't, if you got to it before it got wet, it wasn't heavy. So
yeah.
But.
So other than wet socks and no snow, how's everything by you?
I'm doing good. I'm living the dream. You know what I mean? Having fun, sitting around. I watched the last week of NFL football, Joe. So there was that, and now we're into the playoffs.
Well, the NFL season ended for me when the fantasy football for soon-to-be network ended.
Right.
Did you get your third place payout yet?
No, I didn't, even though I did 4, but Ronald says he doesn't want it, so I'm hoping I hope I get my money.
Right.
I mean, if you give it up, then naturally it goes to the next person, right?
Well,
only shady things would happen if it didn't come to me.
Everyone's taken claim for it. First place is taking claim to it. Second place is taking claim to it. Actual third place doesn't want it.
Fourth place should get it.
I think if third place defaults, then everybody moves up.
Right. If we found out Ronald was juicing,
if
he was on the next logical step, then and he got knocked out, then it not naturally you don't give the bronze to the silver if the third guy ends up pissing hot. You give it to the fourth, right?
Right.
So that's the only logical conclusion here.
And you don't give the bronze to the gold either.
Right, exactly. He's already got the gold.
He's already got the gold.
Well, you don't give it to the man who picks a kicker. Yeah. You give it to the man, who's fourth place.
Yeah. But I don't know. It seemed like I don't know. It always seems like when it gets to the end of the season, it's like, why is there 20 teams still in the playoffs? But anyway,
because it's math, Joe. It's math.
And why is the Raiders not one of them?
Right. Why is it one of my 31 rivals?
There's certain teams when it gets to the end of the season, I'm like, well, I know the Raiders aren't going to be in there. I know the Bears aren't going to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
I know
we weren't mathematically eliminated until the second to last week. So
okay.
So it was a nail biter for me, Joe.
It's good to have that whole hope the entire 18 weeks of the season as opposed to know by week 4.
Yeah.
That you're just playing for fun at this point.
Mm-hmm. Now you're playing for pride,
Fun in a draft pick, maybe.
Right. But I know you love talking about football, so I'm going to go over a little bit of
all right.
The playoff teams. So these are from 7-1 who are in the AFC.
Oh, okay. There's 7-1. So there's 14 teams in the playoffs?
Right, because since they added an extra week, they added an extra wild card. You know what I mean? So there's 14 teams, 7 in the AFC, 7 in the NFC. Which one do you want to take first, the NFC or the AFC?
Well, I don't know which is which. So I know, like, the Chiefs are in.
Right.
I know the Bills are in.
Yes, they are.
I know the Dolphins are in.
Yes, they are. You're hitting all the AFC teams, by the way.
I know the Eagles are in.
That's an NFC.
I know the Giants are not in.
No, they're sucked, but they did beat the Eagles the other day.
Right. I know that the Jets aren't in.
No, they're not. Aaron, couldn't get them there after 4 plays and then going down for the season.
Mm-hmm. I know Jacksonville's not in.
No.
And that's about the end of what I know.
Okay, so here is you hit most of the AFC. So the 7th seed is the dastardly Pittsburgh Steelers. 6 is Miami Dolphins. 5 is the Cleveland Browns. 4 is the Houston Texans. 3 is the Kansas City Chiefs, and 1 is the Baltimore Ravens. So
Ravens,
yes, the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, who probably will get MVP, but sucks in the playoffs. Sucks. I don't care what anybody says. So Ravens, I really don't care about. Steelers, I want to see bounced. So then Miami Dolphins, I like Tua. My art collecting buddy Josh is a Miami fan, so I don't care if they. I wouldn't care if they won. The Houston Texans, I have no really care either way. It would be cool if they won. I actually kind of root for them because they have a rookie quarterback. First year, if he wins the Super Bowl as a rookie quarterback, good for him. The Chiefs, Joe. The Chiefs are one of my top 5 arch rivals of the 31, so I don't want to see them go. And then the Cleveland Browns, which I'm not normally a Cleveland guy,
right?
But Cleveland had their quarterback knocked out, and he's the one who had some problems with his masseuses, if you know what I mean. So he got knocked out, but they brought in old man Joe Flacco off the couch, literally. Getting from the Ravens years ago, has his 1 Super Bowl ring. So he is playing, and he was getting a whopping $75,000. Well, he was getting his pay, whatever it was, and a bonus of $75,000 for every win that he got. Which
you could barely live on that.
Right. Pay that man more, but he ends up, going to the playoffs. So in the AFC, I'm like, and the Bills. I'd like to see the Bills win because that would piss off Marcus. So, as a filthy Kansas City Chiefs fan,
are the Bills a Kansas City rival?
What?
Are the Bills a Kansas City rival, or is it just?
Well, it's because Marcus believes, and wrongly, by the way, that Pat Mahomes is the greatest quarterback that has ever lived. It may come true someday, but right now it's TB Tom Brady. And I think they were giving Josh Allen, who's the Bills quarterback, a little too much dap. So that was irking. They were, the rub was going to him a little bit and not Patrick. So I think that's what aggravates.
What the hell is DAP? What are you saying?
DAP. They're giving him credit when they should be giving it. They're like talking him up. I don't know what it is, but there's something about Josh Allen and the Bills that Patrick hates. And I just think it's jealousy that they mentioned Josh Allen a couple of times. And it should be Patrick Mahomes all the time. Starting a beef here on the show right now as we speak. So.
I don't know who's lined up to play who. I don't know who has the buys or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think of that group, I think I would like the Bills because my dad likes the Bills.
Right, and they went to the Super Bowl 4 years in a row. I think it was, and lost every year.
Right, and I'm gonna make an inside reference for one person. Okay,
right, one of your pet peeves, but go ahead.
But it's okay because I'm announcing it ahead of time. I know a guy with frosted tips who has little cute songs for every time that a player on the Bills does good. So I want him to have more cute songs with his frosted tips.
Oh, okay.
And the other thing that I want from the AFC is I don't know how everything is lined up. I just want at some point in the playoffs for the Browns and the Steelers to face each other.
That would be great.
Because those two fan bases, when they mix, it's toxic.
Right. If we should be playing Britney right now with that song in the background, but yeah. So I'm rooting for either the Browns or the Bills, and a couple other teams I wouldn't care. So now the NFC, this is the seeding. At 7 is the Green Bay Packers. At 6 is the Los Angeles Rams. At 5 is the Philadelphia Eagles. 4 the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 3 the Detroit Lions. 2 Dallas Cowboys. And the number 1 seed is the San Francisco 49ers. Oh. So right off the bat, Cowboys, get the fuck out. No Cowboys Super Bowl. Get them the fuck out. If you call yourself America's team and you don't have 31 rivals, get the fuck out of here. Do not like the Dallas Cowboys. So of the rest, the Green Bay Packers, I wouldn't care. I would like to see them because Jordan loves the quarterback, and when Aaron Rodgers left, he was he's a prima donna. So I'd like to see him get one after Aaron Rodgers leaves. The Rams, they already won one a few years ago, so I don't care. And they swapped quarterbacks with the Detroit Lions. And the Rams won the Super Bowl. Now in the playoffs, the Rams and the Lions have to play the two quarterbacks that they swap. So I'm rooting for Detroit for the legend of Barry Sanders. I'd like to see Detroit win a Super Bowl. Los Angeles, I don't care about. Philadelphia Eagles, get them the fuck out of there.
Oh, come on.
They booed Santa Claus. Come on, out.
Are you saying that the people in Philly and that support Philly sports are attention deficit criminals, Todd? Is that what you're insinuating?
You know what? Yes. They might be some crossover in the NFL of those fans. You know what I mean? So don't like it. Attention deficit criminals are Eagles fans. Yes. They have a jail in their stadium. Come on. Right. So Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they won a Super Bowl recently with Tom Brady, but now they have I can't think Baker Mayfield, who was
I thought you were going to say Tom Baker.
No, Tom Baker was the quarterback. I'd root for him all the way. He was bounced from Cleveland, in disgrace, but I actually really like him, and he had some of the best commercials in the history of NFL commercials. For insurance, though. They were really good. So I wouldn't mind seeing him win. But the team I really kind of want to see win is the San Francisco 49ers, because they have a quarterback, Joe, who was drafted last in the NFL draft. We talked about
this last year, didn't we?
Yeah, what?
We talked about this last year, maybe?
Yes, and he went to the NFC Championship last year, and in the first couple of games hurt his arm, or the first couple of minutes hurt his arm and had to sit, so the 49ers lost. So they probably would have went on to the Super Bowl because they were just stacked. And now they added a running back, McCaffrey. That's amazing. So I'm rooting for it, and I want to bet the over of how many times they mention, if he goes to the Super Bowl, that he was drafted last in the NFL, because it's the only thing they talk about. And I love the man because he's getting the league minimum to be a quarterback. And like all these quarterbacks at Christmas give their linemen presents because they're the one who protect them. They're like, I think Patrick Mahomes gave all his linemen like $100,000 golf carts. If it wasn't him, it was another quarterback. Other guys, like he gives them like $500,000 Rolexes. And Brock Purdy, Joe, he has so little money. His wife baked his lineman cookies for Christmas.
Oh,
you gotta respect that. He's like, I'm making, now, you say you can barely live on that, $200,000, but he should be making $100 million. So he made his guys cookies. Let's go, Brock Purdy.
So I would like to see, and again, I know a little bit more football than I let on, right? Maybe I'm doing a bit. I would like to see the NFC finals be
the NFC Championship. Yes.
NFC Championship, sure, whatever you call it.
Right.
I would like to see it to be the Niners and Eagles, right?
Right.
Because I have friends that like the Niners. I got friends that like the Eagles. The Eagles are, the Philly team. I like Philly. But I remember Eagles were kind of like I'd like to see Detroit as well, right? You can't do 3 teams at once. That's a whole different sport.
Three-way dance in the NFC Championship.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's change things up. Let's do that in the XFL. Is the XFL still a thing, or what's the new thing?
They got merged with something else, and they're coming out in March, I think.
So Lions would be good because I think at the beginning of the season, the Lions got like a big win over like Kansas City or something, right?
A lot of people got a big win over Kansas City this year.
But no. I mean, it was like game 1 of the season.
Yeah, they did, I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
So Detroit beats Kansas City, and people are like, that's a fluke. Kansas City's primed to win the whole thing, right? And even the Detroit people are like, this is a fluke. We weren't supposed to win this one. And then they did really well, right? So Detroit would be a good story. But the story with the Niners and the Eagles were pretty much unstoppable until they played the Niners this year.
Right.
When they played the Niners,
I think they went on a 5. Go ahead, sorry.
Go ahead.
And recently the Niners went like on a 4 or 5 game losing streak. They suck right now.
Okay. So the Eagles are kicking ass. They play the Niners. The Niners put a whooping on them.
Mm-hmm.
So now you get that redemption at the thing of like, can the Eagles redeem that win from earlier in the season? Can the Niners turn around their losing streak against a team that they whooped up on earlier in the thing? And then Detroit just kind of comes in and like rolls them up for the thing, right?
Right.
But all that being said, if I got to pick, I'm going with a finals of the Super Bowl of the Browns and the 49ers, just to get those 2 bum low-end paying quarterbacks in there for the big payday.
Exactly. It's literally the old guy who everybody says, Joe Flacco, that the Baltimore defense won him the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And Brock Purdy, who everybody says it's McCaffrey. It's Deebo Samuel. It's, the defense. It's this, but it's not Purdy. So I was like, I would love it. It would be like the guy who they got off the couch and the guy who got drafted last for the storyline. That is and then if either one of them wins, I'm 100% fine with it. But if I have to listen to like the Cowboys fans or the Swifties, if you will, with the Chiefs, I'm gonna shoot somebody. But like Detroit, I would be fine with in there too, just because, like I said, the quarterback swap between the Rams and the Detroit Lions. So there's a lot going on, but it's not the worst year where there's 9 teams that I don't want to see win. So, but like I said, there's usually 31 teams I don't want to see win.
And I will say this, and I'll save like all the other nonsense or whatever else we were going to talk about for next week. Make this a nice short show for once. If the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl,
yep,
it is irrefutable proof that football is fixed.
Yeah, his receivers can't catch this year. They can't.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. I don't know, because you listen to. I haven't gotten around to listening to the Final Wrestling Place in a while. My podcast list is really backed up.
That's true.
Does Marcus complain a lot about the Chiefs this year?
Nah, you could tell
the way he does the Yankees.
You could tell there's a little disappointment in his voice when he talks about the Chiefs.
Right.
Like it's not he doesn't bury them as much and like get as heated up as he does about the Yankees.
Right.
I think he definitely knows it's like, all right, we have the lineup, things aren't clicking, but we're still winning games. We still made it to the playoffs. There's still a chance, sort of thing.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Right, exactly. Whereas the Yankees are spending a lot of money, winning games, but losing games that they shouldn't be losing, and then making bad decisions left and right, almost letting people go and then keeping them and then letting other people. And then all of a sudden, like there was like 3 or 4 different things that the Dodgers did, like whether it be plays or people that they picked up. And Marcus was like super hot about, like, those should have been Yankees,
Yeah, there was some big. I think they have like $1 billion in payroll and 3 players over at the Dodgers.
Something like that.
Yep. So,
but I know this is when you tune into football.
Yeah, like the first 18 weeks don't matter.
Yeah.
Right. It's the playoffs. Playoffs.
I'm surprised nobody convinced anyone to do just a playoff fantasy league.
Well, there is, and we never do it. There is a pick'ems for the playoffs, but I don't want to do that too.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, I don't think maybe there is a way to do fantasy for the playoffs. I don't know. That's something that's above my pay grade.
That's something for the league commissioner,
right?
Let the league commissioner keep the third place payoff and figure that out for next year.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so hey, go check us out on all the stuff. I still don't have a Twitter account. That has my name on it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I try to be careful. I'm still streamlining the 2 other accounts that I have.
Right. I check on your Joe X account every once in a while.
I check once a day, and then I send the thing to Twitter now only when they send back to me that they can't verify my account, or they've closed my case and it cannot be reopened, but don't tell me what I did in the first place or why they're closing the case.
Well, somebody said that they had their account come back after a year, so there's hope.
There is hope. And
there's hope.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But of course, we got the Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon. You get access to the Discord. You can talk to us there. It's nice to have like comic stuff over here and wrestling stuff over here. And rarely the two shall intertwain,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what else was I going to say? I thought Previewing the Past was really good this past week. Us doing January 1994.
Yep. Listen, we had, lots of essence on that show.
And, oh my goodness.
And impersonations galore. So
yes.
I'm the Jay Moore of Previewing the Past.
Yes. So definitely check that out. Maybe you're a $5 person and you're listening to this already, the correct listening order for the shows. I don't know, man. Let's get into doing the main show. Thanks for listening. This was episode 478 of Longbox Heroes After Dark. And we'll see you all here next week.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.